Happy Saturday, Striver. I hope you're entering this weekend with a joyous, appreciative, relaxed mindset. Can you have all those types of mindset going at once? I think you can. When you're centered, when you're in the moment today, when you're spontaneous, I think this weekend is going to be phenomenal. Even if you're catching up on things, running around, doing stuff with the family, getting those errands done, or just going out and enjoy yourself, make sure you feel the weekend a little bit. That time to have a little bit of boundaries or demarcation from the week is important. It helps us recognize really the seasons of life, even if it's just a weekend. I like to do something special on Saturdays, and I'd like to encourage you to try something today, which I just call my Saturday calls. Now, my Saturday calls are really just voice texts to people. So I just leave a little voice audio to my friends. I do it through text, iMessage. I don't use voice message. Sometimes I'll leave a video for friends, but usually it's just a little note of encouragement, a little text. I don't get it every Saturday, but I'm pretty good at it. And so I just kind of run down my list here. And what I mean by my list is that throughout the week, I just keep in my high performance planner, I just kind of jot down people who demonstrated excellence or who were going through something that was challenging. And I just write their names down. And I know on Saturdays kind of like what was going through, their life or what they were doing. And I just drop a little note of appreciation. That's it. No big life update, long audios, no, rambling messages, just like, hey, want to let you know I'm thinking of you today. I hope to catch up soon. Can be that short, just that reach out. Or it can be a little more detailed based on what's going on. I've had a friend who recently went through a medical issue. So I dropped them a note saying, hey, just want to let you know it might be hard times right now. And I'm here for you. I'm sending up prayers. We all love you. We're cheering you on for a fast recovery. If you need anything, we're always here. But I wanted to just drop you a note of encouragement and of faith and of belief and hope that you're going to heal, that things will get better. And I want to let you know, I appreciate you in my life. I just felt like telling you I love you today. Simple as that. Sometimes it's in another category of someone, in my team who just crushed it, who deserves a message or went through something difficult. But I would just encourage you to think about the people in your life more often and drop them a surprise on Saturday. Maybe I should call this Saturday surprise calls or just Saturday surprises. I don't know. We'll come up with something here. I feel like you might even break it down into categories. Is there a family member who you could reach out to, who you didn't talk to this week or last month or for a long time? Maybe it's just a sibling, or maybe it's a distant cousin, just somebody you haven't reached out to. And you just want to put your voice in their ears with some good energy today. That's all you're trying to do. That's all you're trying to do. Because remember, at the end of your life, it's just about the relationships. We all work so dang hard and we get buried in our emails and our social media and that day's initiatives, tasks, and goals. And we forget. The fact is, at the end, we'll really wish we kept up with people more and that they were around us. Identify them now, especially in family. Another category might be friends. And as you know, I always like to break friends up into categories. Not always a popular thing when I teach this, but I do. I have my old friends, I have my maintenance friends, and I have my growth friends. And so I would drop a note to my maintenance friends, my growth friends. What do I mean by that? Well, I have my old friends. These are just people that at that part of my life, they were, in a great part of my life, and there they were. But we don't keep up anymore, and I don't have the ambition or the drive or the connection to keep it up anymore. That's just an old relationship that probably will never come back. Then I have maintenance friends. These are people you just do barely enough. Maybe it's the birthdays and the holidays and the neighbors and people, in the maintenance category. You just got to do enough. You keep them going. And then your growth friends. These are people you want there at the end. These are people you want to have adventures with or go on vacations with, people who you're interested in their lives and they're interested in yours. And I always think of it terrible having these categories, but it makes me not feel guilty there are just some people who are old friends I'm not going to keep up with. Not because they're terrible or I'm terrible. Just that was the life window that they were in and I was in with them. And then we both moved on happily, joyfully. No harm or, fouls there. Just life went on. Maintenance friends, I'll drop them a line once in a while, but I always try to drop growth friend notes. Again, I'm not really great at it, doing it every Saturday, but I'm all right. Then team. Did you serve on a mission with anybody this week? Were you all fighting for the same cause? Were you in the trenches together? Were you helping others? Were you building together? Did you go through something that was difficult? Maybe they need some empathy and encouragement, and you get to do that today. And they'll surprise them, right? Because they don't expect it on a Saturday. Remember, this is not asking anything of anyone. It's just a note of encouragement. And then finally, and I know this sounds completely dorky, drop an audio for yourself. No kidding. Go into your voice memos on your phone and just leave a note for yourself after the week you just went through. I know this sounds really weird, but if you've ever been to a personal development seminar, there's that old thing. It came out of the 1800s, early 1800s, a practice of writing a letter to your future self. Well, instead of writing a letter to your future self, what if you just dropped an audio to yourself now and said, hey, Brendan, I see this week that you did 35 hours on Zoom. You taught conferences, you work with CEOs, you work with, billionaire founders. You were busy. You were crushing it. Remember, though, you only worked out 3 times this week. That affected your energy. Hey, man, I want to let you know that I know that you're giving your best. Take a breather once in a while. Have a few more pit stops as you teach. Make sure you spend a little more time in the morning reading books that you like. You love that. Give it another 10 minutes. You'll like it. Make sure you schedule yourself something good for next weekend so you can go and enjoy it. Remember, you got that upcoming thing happening. You've been going through a lot. Take it easy on yourself. That's it. Just simple. I know it sounds completely ludicrous, but here's what's the craziest thing is when you go back through your voice memos and you it's almost like an audio diary of a sort, right? And I date them and I put a topic on it. And I know that sounds totally weird. I don't do it, like I said, every Saturday, but once in a while I'll do it. And it's pretty amazing to hear your own voice throughout your life. And not because you love your voice, because you just got to capture sometimes. Because the truth is, while I'm knocking out those audios, there's days I'm not near my computer and I don't journal. And especially on weekends, I'm somebody who I like to journal. I open up Growth Day on my computer, which has a keyboard, and because I like to type a lot. But on Saturdays, I try to stay away from the desktop as much as I can. And the reality is, I'm just sitting there, I'm knocking them out. So I'll just capture some ideas and thoughts and feelings and dreams. I'll cheer myself on. The audio might be about a visionary big goal or thing, or just processing something out loud about something I wish I'd said or done. I know it's silly, but hey, you're sitting there with your phone anyway. Instead of scrolling through and watch a bunch of dancing bears, why don't you take a minute to drop an audio right now to some people that you love? Let them know that you're thinking about them. Throw some encouragement and positivity. Break it right into their ears so it hits their brain and they just feel your presence, your joy, your love for them. Let them know that you see them. Let them know that you're working on yourself and that you care about them. You just wanted to reach out, because every day it's a great day to grow.